What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Southern Arizona Sports Talk. Let's hear that air horn. All right, guys, real quick, I got to say I'm excited for this show because I don't want to call it a giveaway because it's a sports show, so we're going to call it a competition. And we're giving away some beats, some movie tickets, and $15 off at Topgolf. And we got Coach Dave and the newest member of Southern Arizona Sports Team and LTD Media, Southwest John. Show yourself real quick. There, so he has the prizes in the back. He's going to be writing down all the usernames that post this on their stories. And at every commercial break, Coach Jose is going to pick a username out of a bag, and then you'll win the prizes. We're going to start off with the Topgolf, $15 off, and make our way to the beats. But without further ado, hit that applause and air horn for Jose Felix from Jet Sports.
Appreciate it, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's your first podcast, right?
First one, yeah.
So what's it like? You a little bit nervous or anything? Or?
Depends on what questions you ask me.
Oh, okay. I promise you, no politic questions or anything like that. So we should be good.
Well, we should be good. Nothing to be nervous about.
Yeah. So do you watch the game last night?
No. We were actually. I was at Bible study.
Oh shoot!
But I was keeping up with them through the apps and everything. The baseball or the football game.
Both at this point. It's a good time for sports, bro. We got everything going on right now.
It's the best time. Yeah. October baseball. There's nothing like it.
So you're talking about Bible studies. When did you get into that, brother? Because I've known you forever, and you've never said anything about Bible studies. And you know from me that I've always been a big believer. So how did that happen?
Yeah, that's actually like kind of weird for me to talk about too, because that's so new. That's so foreign to me.
Yeah.
It's just something that was recommended to me by my brother-in-law. Actually, he's been trying to get me to go to this men's group, which is Bible study. But he said, hey, it's so much more beyond, just reading about the Bible. It's, communicating with other guys, just kind of seeing their perspective. And these are guys from all walks of life too. Some of his buddies, real close buddies that he grew up with. There's police officers, there's some lawyers, doctors, there's just people from all walks of life. And it's nice to know just kind of how they interpret their version of the Bible. It's all that is very, very new to me. So,
yeah. So how long have you been doing Bible studies?
This is about a month now.
Oh, shit.
So we're every week we're just kind of reading a chapter. Right now we're in the book of Genesis, and like I said,
have you guys got to the story of Joseph yet?
Yes, that's actually what we were.
The King of Dreams.
Up. Yeah, Joseph and Dad Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that story? Yeah, how much have you read of the story of Joseph? I don't want to put you in a weird spot.
We're finishing up. We're like on almost chapter 50 now.
What part are you guys at right now?
So where he basically the brothers, he comes clean to the brothers. It's like, hey, I am the king. And,
right when he invites everyone back.
And I'm your brothers. And the brothers are like, oh, man, like we better, reconciliate and we better go tell our dad that the brother that we sold as a slave.
He's alive.
He's alive. So that's where we kind of left off.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite stories. And it's because of this. And you've been around my life a lot, and you've seen how many trials and tribulations I've gone through with injuries, having coaches that are literally trying to get me to play JUCO for another year and keep me away from Division II. That story kept me going because you think about Joseph, he gets sold in slavery, then all of a sudden he's freaking top-notch where he's at, then he gets thrown back into prison, then he's back up again. Mm-hmm. How have you taken that, lessons and taken it to your athletes? Because that's this thing where every athlete's going to have their ups and downs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much parallels, right, in that story with you can all tie it to situations that we've lived through. So I think the biggest takeaway from that is just, having a vision, having a clear vision, staying faithful to whatever your goal is, and knowing that it's all going to play out with due time. So that story in particular took about 20 years to unfold, right? Since the day his brothers turned on him, to him being sold as a slave in Egypt, and then it took a lot of time in between for him to work himself up as the governor, as the king, and then be in the place that he was to be able to reconcile, to be true and honest to himself, and forgive his brothers for what he did. So I think in a sense, it's about staying patient, staying goal driven, and knowing, exactly when to come clean and be a man of God, be a man of faith.
Yeah, that's awesome. So was your sister-in-law, their family, they're pretty religious and everything?
You know what? No, it's pretty new to my brother-in-law as well.
Oh, cool.
So again, he's like, hey, look, we're not gonna be, coming in the most holy man, the most clean, but it's just new. Try it out. Let's just see what happens. And like I said, I'm so caught up in the world with jet sports training that it's nice to just kind of dabble into something different and think about a whole different way of thinking, basically.
Yeah, bigger picture. That's the main thing. So let's get into the journey. We'll get to the journey, how you got to jet sports. But one thing I like to do is learn the journey about how you got to how your childhood, your high school experiences got to you where you're now. So take us through. What was it like? What was Little Jose like at 5 years old?
Yeah, man. We grew up in a pretty big family. I have 2 older sisters. I have a brother that's 11 months younger than me. So really family oriented. Grew up in the community. We went to Sunnyside High School, and then from there I went to NAU. Yeah. I was a decent baseball player in high school.
Yeah. Your brother was a professional player too, right?
Yeah. So
Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I like to get into the story about that and how it motivates me and it gives me a good message for all my athletes. But yeah, I went to NAU because I found out that school's going to be my route. Did pre-physical therapy as my bachelor's degree, the exercise science degree, and then came back to Tucson. And at the moment where I was kind of deciding, okay, do I want to go to graduate school and become a physical therapist, or do I want to really follow my passion and work more with athletes directly, still, helping them train, helping them rehab, but work more on the performance side. Yeah. So it was all in that moment where I was just kind of dabbling between the two. And then, me and Bobby already had jet sports training. He was working.
This is when you all were still at Reed Park, right? Or was this already when you guys moved into the first facility?
No, right around Reed Park. He was actually renting out of a studio, and just kind of paying rent in a small studio, and we just kind of collaborated, put our heads together, and I said, hey, look, like I see what you're doing, and kind of doing something similar. I like where this is going for you, and let's join forces, and let me bring my clientele, and little by little, we started getting more clientele, we started getting more trust, and then it's actually funny because I told him this 3 days ago. It's like October 1st, I'll never forget this, October 1st, 2017 is when we got the keys to the first official facility for Jet.
Oh, shoot. So how long have you guys been at the new one right now?
At the new one, so this is a 5,600 square foot facility. We've been there since February of 2021.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dude, time flies.
Time flies.
So let's talk about your journey on making, it's a juggernaut at this point. You guys got professional athletes. That picture I posted of you, that's all his college athletes. So how many college athletes do you think you've trained so far to this point?
Right now, that wall needs to be updated. It gets updated every January and every May, just basically at the start of the fall semester, the start of the spring semester. Right now, we're over 160 and counting. So we've been blessed to see a lot of people come in. And those kids that are on the wall, if you've ever been to Jet, we have a wall of higher level athletes that anywhere from collegiate to and beyond. Collegiate, pro, semi-pro, and even Olympians.
Yeah, Roman Bravo Young right there.
Yes, sir.
I like your shirt. Dave, see if you can zoom into his shirt real quick. This is Jet's Olympic shirt.
This is the Olympic drop that we just had.
Yeah.
Commemorating Roman. Yeah. Supporting Roman for
Team
the
Mexico right there. Yeah. So let's talk about the beginning of it. So how many clients did you have when you first started?
Oh, literally zero. Going back to my brother, he was my first client. At that time, he was in the minor leagues. So, every offseason he would come back. He'd share his knowledge about what's going on over there, over in Florida, where he was playing at the time. And we'd just kind of bounce ideas off each other. I'd be like, hey, he had they send you a big packet, a big off-season handbook.
Like on workouts and everything like that?
It goes everything from workouts to nutrition to sleeping patterns.
Get into that a little bit. So what was their advice on nutrition and sleeping? Because athletes don't realize if sleep was a PED, it would be banned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it basically gives you everything you need to follow. It's like the off-season Bible. It's very basic in order to be easy to understand for the average athlete that probably never had, a training or that probably wasn't going with a trainer. So it was very, very easy to understand, very basic, but there's a lot of great ideas in those books, and it just walks you through, how to be an athlete. And if you follow that off-season packet, then you should have no reason, or you should have no excuse to show up out of shape or not strong enough for the next season, because they can always go back and be like, well, look, we gave you everything you need to do. There's, this is a business. If you're not up with the standards, then, it's a cutthroat business.
Yeah, get rid of you in a second, dude.
Yeah, they're like, hey, look, we did our part. You better show up in the next season. You better show up in shape and top tier. So.
Awesome. How about the sleeping patterns? What do they say about that? Like, what do they say? Like, get 8 hours of sleep or something like that?
Yeah, get enough sleep. Even like positioning, like, obviously baseball players, arms, he's a pitcher. So make sure you're sleeping on your back. Wear the least amount of clothes possible, so it's very little nuggets like that you may never even think are so important and such a big deal.
So when we started, you were saying that there's stories you want to get into your brother. You want to tell us what those are?
Yeah. So like I said, I bring this up to a lot of my athletes, because a lot of the athletes that we train are guys like me and you, that we're in a community where we don't know what our potential truly is. So him out of high school, he wasn't really even recruited, to be honest. He was above average.
Yeah, because he went to Pima College, right?
He went to Pima College, but he went as a walk-on. That summer, I remember my dad was just kind of pleading with him, like, look, like, what else do you got? Like, let's just give it a shot. Show up to tryouts. At that time, Pima was going through a coaching change, because Edgar, he was gone, and I think they were looking for the new coach.
Is this when Heisey got there?
That was the first year that Heisey got there, and luckily Coach Heisey recognized him because he was coaching at Ironwood the year before. So he's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. We played you guys twice this year. Sure, come in, walk on. And by the hair of his chinny chin chin, they said, hey, you showed us some impressive stuff. Come back for day 2 of tryouts. And sure enough, they kind of gave him a spot as a walk-on. And from that moment on, all he needed, and just like any one of us that are dreaming, all we need is that one opportunity, that one grant that says, all right, look, I'm going to give you a shot. And he ran away with it. He ran away with it and made the most out of just a dab of hope, right? So it would be just kind of textbook stuff, like stuff you see in the movies. First guy in the gym, last guy out. He'd stay before. He'd be the first one at practice. He'd stay after, do extra work. And, sure enough, like, given that opportunity, he did the most with it, and he saw his performance start going up. And sure enough, by the second year, he got drafted in the 12th round by the Detroit Tigers.
Out of JUCO, right?
Out of JUCO as a walk-on.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So how long was he in the minors for?
He was in the minors for 4 years.
Then Mexican leagues after that, right?
4 years. And as soon as he got released, like I said, it's cutthroat. It was a quick, like, hey, we found someone else to be in your position, so here's your release. It was like at the beginning of spring training too. And he was kind of dealing with something, so he didn't have much leverage.
Was he hurt or something, or?
Yeah, they call it dead arm. I guess like it's the term for it, like the medical term, it's like thoracic outlet syndrome, which is something that pitchers go through. There's been a lot of MLB pitchers that have gone through it. It's just something that can't be. It's not really an injury in terms of like something that goes wrong with ligaments or tendons, but it's just weakness, inhibition in your arm. You don't throw, your miles per hour go down significantly, but like I said, once you rehab it or once you come back from it, usually people come back to full throttle. So anyways, they don't have time for that, right?
No,
and not in the minor leagues, not when you're trying to prove yourself. So luckily, he had good connections here, and they kind of put his name out there. And pretty much as soon as he landed from the plane from Lakeland, Texas to Tucson, he was getting calls from the major leagues in Mexico.
Oh, dang.
Yep.
That's awesome. So I want to get more into the story of how you built I'm going to call it your empire, because, dude, there's kids going in and out. So before we started talking about your brother, you said your brother was your first client. What happened after that? What was the first couple years like?
Yeah, so, for me, it was a lot of family and friends. Like, hey, come here. I'm doing something special. I just need guinea pigs. I need test dummies. Yeah. And
were you letting people train for free at that point?
Well, at that point, you don't ever want to call it for free. There's always a trade-off, right?
Like, you all better be posting this if you want some free. If you want to come in here and work out.
Yeah, hey, post this. Tell your friends about it. So you got to be meticulous about who you want to give these free sessions to, because it's like, okay,
hey, like if you ain't got 2K followers on Instagram, you can't train.
Bring that clout. Bring that clout. So or it's like, if you're playing in a team, like, look, I'm training you, but next time bring your 2 other teammates, or hey, that girl that she's getting recruited, tell her to come over here with you and try a session. So it kind of builds momentum off of that. But you don't want to live off of free, because then you're bringing the value of your services down too. Yeah. So we were really meticulous about how we went about that, especially with the training the higher level athletes.
And what year was this again?
2017.
17.
Yep.
So I think another challenge everyone faced 3 years later was COVID. And we were with each other when all that was going on, freaking not knowing if we're going to be able to train. How did you deal with those challenges of not being able to essentially work and actually work with your athletes?
We were training low key, by the way. We can't bring. I'm just playing.
No, we weren't training. Hey, everything was virtual. We had masks on. We're good.
Yeah, no, that was actually a defining moment, really, for Jet as a business, but also I'm sure Bobby can attest for him as a trainer, and definitely for myself as well, because it was such a trying year. There was so many things that we weren't allowed to do, where you would feel like, hey, look, like, it's the world against us. Like, they want to shut us down. They want to, they don't want us to work on getting kids healthy, which was the biggest, dichotomy. It was weird. But essentially, we were kind of keeping it under the wraps, because he had collegiate athletes that needed to train. It wasn't
professional
an option.
Athletes too. 'Cause I remember when Cruz was there, my eyes struck. I'm like, oh my God, that's Dominic Cruz.
Dominic Cruz, just to name drop, Dominic Cruz, Roman Bravo. There was a couple of other D1 high caliber wrestlers, and at that time, wrestling was during the season, so they had to fly back, and they're like, look, we can't afford not to train. So, he was taking his clients in. I had athletes like yourself. I had other collegiate athletes that were like, hey, look, we cannot afford to not do anything. So. We were going to the park across the street.
Yeah, I remember those days, dude, running up that hill.
Running up the hill over there at Quincy Douglas Park.
Yeah.
And
so that's an ad break, guys. We're going to be right back, and hopefully we get some prizes going too.
Welcome to Snap Fitness. This is my gym.
And my gym.
And this is my gym.
And my gym.
Here at Snap Fitness Marana, we welcome all kind people trying to stay healthy.
Ready to make us your gym? Click the link below, message us on social media, or give us a call 520-400-4646.
We are Jet Sports Training, where our mission is to cultivate champions. This is where athletes come to get faster, and everyday people come to change their lives. This is not a gym, but a community. Come get jetted.
About to take off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lot of y'all doubted on me. Now they like, wow, look how far you legendary like all my idols. Coming for it all and I can't wait. Success just called and I got me a date. So I grab my ambitions and I'm on my way. Cross the wrong line and it's bad news. Might get burnt like a candle. We too hot to handle. World at my feet like a sandal. I only move when I plan to. Your moves could get canceled.
Show is sponsored by D's Barbers, one of the best barbershops in town. With the weekend coming up, you're always trying to look fresh. Make sure you go check out my dude, Dave, at D's Barbershop, 1842 West Grant Road. Go check him out.
My name is Philip Aguilar.
We don't fucking play!
All right, we are back, and we're going to do the competition. So go ahead, Jose. Pick a name from bag.
All right. What are we raffling first?
We got the $15 off to Talk Golf. Something really good for spring break.
All right. First name. We got DETJ210.
And that's John. Okay. Hey, brother, just pick it. I'll actually drop it off to you personally, brother, because I know where you're at. Hey, I think our cousin Monique might fight you for this, though. So good luck.
Get the white glove service.
Yeah. All right, brother. So what we're talking about the COVID times, man. So we want
times.
Yeah. You want to get into that a little bit more?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, fun times, because such a dichotomy, man. It was so much going on. I think we've all had people affected, with or knew someone that was affected. So you never want to downplay something happening like that. But for us, it was such a trying time, and that's when we kind of found out what we were made out of, right? Going back to, we had a lot of conversations like, look.
Wait, not to cut you off, was there ever a time we were just wondering like, oh, shoot, this might shut everything down. This might close down Jet or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, I remember that it was a Thursday. I think it was like March 16th, and we literally had to tell people at the door, like we had the high schoolers coming in for our 7:30 session, and we just got a call. And Bobby has he has a kind of a mentor that works in the healthcare business, and he kind of gave him the heads up couple of days before. It's like, look, this is gonna actually be global. This is gonna be bigger than what anyone thinks. And we were like, well, we still got to do what we got to do. And then it comes down to that one Thursday. It was around like 7:25. We're telling people at the door, like, look, we just can't. We can't let you in. We got to play this thing out. We don't know how long it's gonna be. So yeah. Anyways, there was about a week where we were just like, what is going on? And I remember he would. He was telling me, we had a conversation. He's like, look, I don't mind if you want to go out and do something else, do what you got to do. But, this thing, I'm not going to let it, I'm not going to let it sink. So I was like, well, I'm right there with you. So it was about a week or less of inactivity, and I said, you know what, like we got to think of something. He's like, I'm not gonna stop. So we were like, let's get with the times. Let's actually start
I'm
shooting
gonna throw
videos.
this in too, because I remember it was about 2 weeks, and then I get that text message from you. Hey, we're gonna train.
Come train. Hey, come with it. Yeah. So it was about a couple of days after, and we're like, well, let's at least make some content for those who are stuck at home and do want to exercise and keep, stay active. So we would low key shoot videos at the gym, and it would be a lot of instructional stuff on how to stay athletic at home with minimal equipment. So it started off like that, and then sure enough, I got all my college guys, my minor leaguers, and said, hey, let's go run some sprints at the park. And then slowly but surely, you started getting these calls from parents, and they're like, I don't know what to do with my son or daughter. They're at home and we're going crazy. I just need you to go out and run them, tired for a little bit. So the group started going from about 4 to 12 to 20, and we just had classes.
We all
park.
were 6 feet apart, just so everyone knows. 6 feet apart.
No, yeah, I mean, it was funny because there was so many regulations going on at that time. Like, if you're outdoors, it could be a gathering of, no more than 10. Indoors, no more than 4. I don't know. It changed every week, it seemed like. But we would see, like, at the parking lot, we'd see, like, police officers. And
I remember that because there was a time where we were training, and all of a sudden we see the police officers.
They were like, what's going on? And that was during the thick of it, too. So I would always just kind of be open for that conversation. But, you kind of get the nod from them because they're seeing what's going on. There's a lot of young kids working out, sweating out in the open, sunny, and how can you say no to that? So yeah, we, they kind of gave us the nod, but we were always just kind of, wondering what, if they were going to come in and shut us down, even if we were at the park. So luckily that didn't happen.
I just remembered something. I think it relates to a lot of what we first started with, the story of Joseph. During that time, you were someone's trainer who almost lost their life during COVID. What was that like, seeing them from barely being able to walk to finally getting back to normal where they're at right now?
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to take any, I don't want to just kind of brush it under the rug how serious it was, because like I said, I think everyone knows someone that was affected by it. But yeah, I mean, this person was, he's a really dear, family member to me, and he's very, active and
really, really good baseball coach as well.
Baseball coach in the community. So it was, watching him, go through his process and his perseverance through everything, just kind of put stuff in perspective on, how important being physical is, how important, staying active is, and you don't ever want to take health for granted, because from one day to another, you can get that all taken away.
Yeah.
And I saw that happen, and I saw, how grateful we all are for, little miracles like this to show us that, there's hope, and again, don't ever wake up just assuming that everything's gonna be okay, that day or the next day.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Exactly.
Wait, he's the reason why I ended up playing baseball.
Oh, really?
Have I ever told this story about the All-Star game where?
No.
So check this out, dude. So, not gonna say his name, but he was my Little League coach. And if anyone knows me, I sucked at baseball when I was 11, like absolutely garbage. The only person that was happy about that was my dad, because he knew that. He's like, all right, he's ranked third in the state right now for wrestling. He's gonna go to Fargo. I don't gotta deal with baseball anymore. And he's picking the All-Star team. And I was the only one on my team that didn't make All-Stars. And then after that moment, I always thank him to this day, because there's no baseball without him. Because then all of a sudden that turned me on. And then I'm like, all right, hitting 300 days in a row. And next thing you know, I'm making All-Stars the next year. But if it wasn't for him, I'd probably still be wrestling right now.
Yeah, we all need that one, that one shining light, that one glimpse of hope. And, you can make your career out of it. Like, you had blessed to go after high school and keep playing ball because of that. So
Hey, you never know when something's going to change. You're going to learn that in Bible studies really, really quick, that you never know when you think you're going the right way, and all of a sudden God's like, I got something else for you, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So
as long as you have faith, I mean, that'll keep you level-headed.
So speaking about coaches, has there been any coaches or mentors in your life that you've learned a bunch of lessons from that you take to your athletes now?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of take all the experiences, all the nuggets along the way.
Do you have like one that just like, oh my God, like that's changing my mindset right there?
Yeah, I mean, I do spend a lot of time with Bobby, and he shares, he relays a lot of what he's learned from the highest levels and the highest pinnacles. And sometimes it's nice to just kind of sit down and keep your ears open and keep your mouth closed when it comes to stuff like that, where you want to listen from people who have not just succeeded at the highest level, but also, failed, even your uncle, Edgar Soto, he's a big influence in my life as well. I look to him for guidance. We kind of bounce ideas off each other. So you always want to go off of people that, like I said, it's more important to learn from the people who have failed. That way you don't make those same mistakes, and you learn from their wisdom. I have a brother-in-law, his name is Jesus, and he's the one that kind of put me on to, sharing this or learning about the Bible a little bit more. So yeah, you just take lessons from people that have been through it.
Awesome. So let's talk about Jet a little bit more. What do you think, or what should an athlete know about Jet when it's their first day going in? Because if you go in there and you're brand new, you're gonna be eyes open, thinking you're at the Disneyland of sports, because you got athletes from all over town. You got pro athletes. You even have All-Americans in college, and you might be like, do I even belong here?
Yeah. It's an environment unlike any other. I stand by that, and it's the second you walk in, you're in the mecca of what it is to be an athlete. And now that this comes to mind real quick before that, I do want to let people know we run stuff like community events. We have a camp, a free fall break camp going on Wednesday, where it's going to be open to the community, youth athletes, middle school, high school. They can all go and meet us at Tucson High at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, and it's a free community thing that we have for people that have trained with us or people that want to learn a little bit more about Jet and how we run programs. So that's a very big part in our system and in our business is that community outreach. But
you guys, let me tell this, you guys bring the community together like no other, because you have your foundation, which we'll get into after this, but your community events, the golf tournaments, it's like you got half of Tucson in there sometimes.
No, yeah. I mean, it's we're blessed to know a lot of people and have a lot of people know us. But going back to Jet, like the customer first experience is something that we take very close to our heart. Is, hey, what is the feeling? What do people feel? What do people see? What do they smell as soon as they walk in? Because that is the biggest influence. That's the one way you can gain the most trust right away. You have about 10 seconds to really capture a potential client to see if they're going to trust you or
in my
not.
leadership class that I'm taking in school right now, they said it's less than half a second when people mix up their mind. So
yeah, appearances matter. Yeah. It sucks to say, but you do judge books by their cover, right? And that's that's our first experience. So it is a mecca, because even when I walk in and it's pop and we have an adult class going on, the music's at full throttle, everyone's in the zone. Then you walk in a little bit further in and you see the athletes getting it in. You see the coaches yelling with passion, and everyone's kind of in their own zone. No one's really kind of looking or judging to see, So that is what I can assure an athlete, because yes, it's very nerve-wracking to come into something new, and it's like, well, the biggest thing we get, even with adults, is like, well, I need to get in shape first in order to start training there. Well, no, I mean, that's what we're going to guide you through. We're not going to throw you into the mud and make you fail and make you, make this agonizing for you. No, you want to work your way up to where everyone's at. And People can speak, people they can go back and tell you, like, look, my first day was really scary. I thought I was gonna, I thought I was gonna fail and throw up, but no, you progress into it.
Yeah, dude. So I remember my first day, and if you remember the first day I went, it was right after I got done with the bodybuilding competition, and I was feeling like I was in the best shape of the world, and because my sister is the one that brought me, and when I first thought about it, I'm like, oh, this is easy. Halfway through, I'm starting to throw up. I can feel it.
Yeah.
And then because you saw me, I'm like, I was already kind of being an a-hole about it, like, I don't want to go. And then I remember being by my car and like freaking dead. And you walking out and me just needing to throw up. I'm just me and I like just holding it in, like, don't show him that he killed you. But yeah, when you first walk in, it's an experience because it's not a workout like most people know. And let's get into that a little bit. How important is it for an athlete to not do bodybuilding workouts, but to do functional movements that ultimately improve their explosiveness or speed?
Well, it depends on your goal, right? Because we take a look at athletes and we basically want to, it's a jar. We want to fill up their jar, as much as possible. That means let's just picture a jar and we want to build a foundation. We want to really be making sure that they're working on functional movements, and those are the big rocks. And then once you get into a higher level athlete that knows exactly what they need to train, say you have a high school athlete and say, Coach, I need to squat, 405 before I report to my fall season in college. So then that's kind of where our goal is going to be. Or, Coach, I need to bring my 60-yard sprint or my 40-yard sprint down by couple milliseconds, then that you kind of derive the plan towards that. But we're very adamant about having a system down at Jet. It's called the 7-speed system, where it's...
Let's hear it.
Yeah, no, well, it's basically a template on, just like if you go to McDonald's, you know exactly how the Big Mac is going to taste.
Yeah.
Right? So whether you like the Big Mac or not, and it's a bad example just because we're in the fitness.
He's telling you not to eat that. It's get the protein salad or something.
Yeah, just listen to the example, not don't get too specific. But we have a template, and it's what you're going to expect at Jet. So just like I said, just like McDonald's, every single McDonald's you go to around the city, that the burger, the Big Mac, is going to be replicated, and it's going to taste almost exactly the same. Same thing with Jet. Whether you like it or not, this is what you're coming into. This is our template. This is our Big Mac. So we're very adamant about keeping that and replicating that because it works. So if it works, why strive away from it? So the 7-speed system is what all our trainers and programs are derived off of. And like I said, it's very fundamental. It's very effective, but it is when you come to Jet, you know what to expect, and at the end of the day, it comes down to results, and that 7-speed system is proven. So.
Dude, I remember after my first month, and you know me, I've never been the fastest, but I used to be fast, but then all of a sudden something happened. But I go to you guys, and we start implementing that system. I go to a tournament after being a month with you, and I sell 5 bags. And then for all you athletes that aren't training at Jet, hey, that's proof right there that it works, because all of a sudden I started getting fast.
Yeah,
Right. Hey, that's our commercial ad. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Calling all families. The Marana Pumpkin Patch is your ticket to fall fun for everyone. From toddlers to grandparents. We've got it all. Jumping pillows, a diesel train, a super slide, and more. Kids will love our farm animals, while adults will love our famous corn maze. And don't forget our 70-acre pumpkin patch from Post Farms. Marana Pumpkin Patch, where families make unforgettable fall memories. Tickets available now at maranapumpkinpatch.com.
Some of the questions I got. And we are back, guys. So let's talk about, we were talking about the athlete portion of JET, but you guys do a lot more. You guys offer a women's class and it's like 50 or over or something like that?
No, just any adult. Yeah. Any adult. So it's called the JET Shred program.
Yep, there we go.
It really is for anyone 18 and over. You know, I have a lot of old high school friends that are in the program. It's just anyone that wants a set program and doesn't have too much time to kill. These programs are for 1 hour. You're in, you're out, you get everything you need, and they run off a membership, just like our youth our performance training programs and our high school performance training programs as well. Those are the three main programs that we have.
Awesome. So I'm going to start getting into some of the questions I got last night. One of the questions I got was, what's Jose's daily routine?
Daily routine. Big. It's very important. And, you know,
because I know you tell your athletes all that time, get in a routine.
It's crucial, to stay in routine, and that way you know exactly what to expect, right? So routine, wake up, get my daughter ready for, for school, for daycare, and, take her there. And usually I get to the gym right around 10 a.m., where I'll have my professional baseball guy coming in, working on his speed, working on right now we're looking into opportunities to go out and play in Mexico. So comes in, trains in the morning, and then anywhere from 11 to about 2:30. Yvette and I, Yvette's the director of operations at JET. We sit down, we collab, and everything that needs to be done on the daily, on the back end side of stuff, whether it's nurturing clients. Hey, Raul hasn't been in class in 2 weeks. Just wondering if everything's going. How. So nurturing,
building a relationship right there.
Building and keeping those relationships. With the parents. There's leads that are coming in, making sure that they know what we offer. Making sure that our book of business is right, our numbers are right, and if they're not, which happens as well, what can we do to get back to our baseline, to hit our goals. So everything on the back end stuff, that happens in the middle of the day, and then I have my varsity guys come in right after school at 2:30.
You guys still teamed up with Tucson High as well for their baseball team?
Yeah, I mean, we still train their athletes. Like I said, we want to be as fair to the community as possible. So any teams that we get to team up with, that's what our goal is. We're not exclusive to any one school. That's just not fair to anyone. We're a private gym, so we're open to anyone that wants to come in. So we do help the Tucson Highs, we do help the South Points, we help the Sunnysides, but don't get it wrong. Like we're open to everyone that wants to come in. We've been very blessed to, have our loyal clientele from Marana, from Sahuarita, from Vail make the drive on the daily. I shouted him out on Friday. I went to watch his football game. Shout out Keo. He's a freshman at Buena. They would make the drive from Sierra Vista 3 times a week.
Oh,
that's how loyal they are. That's how bought in they are to the process. So yeah, like I said, we want to make sure we can appeal to as many people as possible.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. 'Cause that brings us to one of the other fan questions. Is there a team this year in high school football that's surprising you?
That's surprising me.
Yeah. You're just like, I wasn't expecting them to be that good.
Man, I mean, that's kind of a what do they call it? Backhanded compliment.
I mean,
but
you could still make playoffs and you turn it around the next year and you're just like unstoppable.
I mean, Tucson High's got a winning record this year. They're
hit the air horn for that one because that's my school right there.
There you go. Shout out Tucson High. So we have a lot of clientele that grew up around Jet, and it's good to see them succeed, and it's good to see that the record reflects that too. So Tucson High with the winning record. Obviously, you have the Micahs and those dominant schools.
Dude, Micah Mountain's defense is nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're really good as well. I went to their game against Sunnyside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it was a beatdown.
Oh yeah, I mean they got legendary coaching over there.
Yeah, that's the all coach from Cienega, right?
Yeah. So and the one going back to what you said, the one that comes to mind as well is the up and coming team. Yeah, the varsity Desert View team is good, but from what I hear, they've got a stud lineup for their freshman class. So yeah, they're up and coming. They're just waxing teams at the table. It's crazy the scores that I've been watching them put up, the numbers I've been watching them put up. So keep an eye out for the Desert View team. If they stay together in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Have you paid attention to Marana at all?
Of course. Yeah.
Dude, did you see that 48? I think it was 48-0 against CDO.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they've got studs and they've got standouts that we're going to be watching on Saturdays as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I got one. You train? How many Marana kids do you train?
We've had a couple. A couple coming in through the doors. Currently, I think in the off season, obviously, right now that no one's the football players are focusing on football, but we've had guys from Marana come in and out awesome. Throughout the years. So.
All right. So next question: has there ever been a workout you made and put your athletes through where you're just like, oh shoot, that might have been a little too much?
When you came in, going back to the story, it's like, oh, this guy thinks you got to figure it out. Let me show him what's up real quick.
Dude, it was you and Ricky that were just like trying to make me quit on the first day.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, we don't ever want to scare anyone, but sometimes on the first day, it's a good way to establish assess them and establish a good baseline and see where they're at conditioning wise, because you came in from bodybuilding and you're very fit when it comes to the aesthetics and being
conditioning
strong,
was nowhere where it needed to be.
Yeah, and like I said, it's that filling up the jar with different aspects of being athletic overall. The one thing as a coach, it is we're ego driven, so I don't ever want to send someone. I don't care if you play volleyball or chess or football. I don't ever want to send an athlete of ours out to their team and they're out of shape. That's the first and foremost thing. So it is an ego thing. Like I know baseball players, they don't necessarily need to be marathon runners, but in a sense, you want to make sure that they're conditioned mentally and physically. So it comes down to just making sure that you're setting them in the right path. And once they're coaches, once they go into their season or their team, then they're well-rounded, just like as they should be.
That was a game changer for me because when I got to Western Oregon, we ran like a track team.
Oh, yeah.
There was one time our coach, I thought I was getting cut. My coach knocks on my dorm at 4 a.m. in the morning. And I'm thinking, we just lost to a JUCO at a fall game. And Western Oregon at the time, I think they were like, they won 8 straight conference championships. Mm-hmm. We're pre-ranked like 15th in the nation. And we lose to like a crappy JUCO. So all of a sudden it's 4 a.m. and I start hearing, and I'm thinking, what is going on? Then I see the coach and he's like, put on your workout gear. I'm like, what is going on? Then I walk out. It's like everyone's the same. All the freshmen are in line. We're all like, what's going on? Then we walk into the gym, and it literally sounds like someone's dog died. Everyone knows what's going to happen but the freshman. He ran us from 4 o'clock to 8:30 in the morning.
Jeez.
And then
what do you guys do?
We lost to a JUCO. Callan Walker, man, not going to lie. I learned so much for him, but I don't think I would ever I would never want to repeat that season because it taught me what it was like to grind in college. But dude, we were a track team. I got back, and literally my mile time was like a 5:15 from how much we ran.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you talked about ego and stuff. And one thing I did know about Jed, and I struggled with it too. How do you make sure people don't fall into, like, when we're doing a circuit or something like that, they don't fall into trying to beat someone next to them and just staying focused on what they can do? Because you know me, like when I was in there, it was always a competition for me.
Of course.
How do you keep athletes away from that and just worrying about focusing on themselves, but still pushing yourself to a point where it pushes someone else?
Well, there's appropriate times, to compete. Whether you're training by yourself or competing against yourself within that hour, or having a group of people to compete with. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that they come in and we're coaching them. To us, that's very important. And when I say we're coaching them, that means we're not just running them through the 7-speed system. We're correcting it. We're adjusting stuff. We want to modify. If they're not getting something, we want to coach them through it and go back, even if it takes like, hey, look, like let's all run this back. It's not looking the way it needs to be, and then that's the teaching aspect of it. And then you do want to have. At the end of the day, you guys are athletes. You're born to compete, right? So you want to give them that that nugget and give them that gratification of, okay, I can do this long. I can do more push-ups than you, or I can hold this sprint longer than you. You want to also like let the dogs be dogs too.
Yeah.
Let them compete at the end, and that's a very fun aspect. We usually save that for the end, but there is times to be real mechanical, real technical. But we want to make sure that you guys are getting fed that that competitive edge too. So
it was a salt bike, and what was that thing called? It was like the salt bike, but for your arms.
Oh the arm bike.
Bike, yes, that was hell.
Yeah,
that was hell. Every time I did it, even though I was in shape, I regretted being on that thing for a minute.
Yeah, so yeah, we obviously we're strength and conditioning coaches. We know what we're talking about, but sometimes it's like, hey, let's throw all the all the technical stuff. Let's just see what you got.
Yeah.
Let me see what you got. It may hurt, but let me see what when it comes down to that fourth quarter, that ninth inning, I want to see what you're going to be, how you're going to be talking to yourself through something so hard, because it's hard to replicate exactly, a pressure situation, which everyone's going to go through, but we want to make it as close to that as possible, with every session. And we take that with pride too. It's like, look, don't ever come, thinking that it's going to be, all fun and games and it's going to be an easy workout, or that, you're not going to have to, really find that inner will to finish. So that way, when you do face that pressure situation, I like to tell my athletes, then you've already been prepared, conditioned to that. So it's not like foreign to you, like, oh man, like I'm it's the bottom of the ninth. There's two, I better not mess up. No, it's like, look, you've kind of replicated, got those reps in at training, and we try to do that as close as possible with every session.
Getting ready to be in the moment.
Have to.
So another question we got: 3 words to describe what you should feel after a jet workout.
3 words. Faster. That's you should always, that's what you come in for, right? You should always be able to feel faster, whether it's you learned a better technique, you got stronger, you're pushing through the ground with more force. Grateful would be the second one, which is a very big aspect of what we try to portray onto our athletes. Like, look, be grateful you're in this position, not just to train for your craft, but that you have the means to do so. Go thank your parents for giving you this opportunity. Not many people wish they had an opportunity like this, or a gym like this. Like I said, there's a lot of people that come from out of town because they don't have that in their small towns of Benson's and Sierra Vista. So be grateful that your parents are actually putting their time and because that's very important. We get it. Parents are busy after school, but they sacrifice and they invest that time into letting you have that.
That's the thing with being an elite athlete. It's not just you. You got an army of people behind you that are trying to make you as best as you can be.
Yeah. It's a team. It's a team effort. And strong. So the three words, speed, gratitude, and strength.
You got to put that on a shirt now, dude.
Yes, sir.
All right. So does Jose have a favorite workout song?
My workout song? Whatever's popping right now, like the new albums. We listen to so much music because obviously there's always, I let a lot of the athletes just kind of take over the aux when there's no one around, and hey, keep the clean version of this, but go ahead and take the aux. So right now, the future album's popping.
Yeah, you're like anything but country, right?
No, I listen to country.
Dude,
I got put on to country.
We never listened to country when I was working out there, dude.
Hey, I mean, there's, you probably never took the aux then.
I did. That was because that's when, dude. That was the original group. It was me, what's that guy? The guy from Ottawa.
Oh yeah,
Ortiz,
Eddie. Yeah,
Eddie, and then Ricky, and then one more guy, and then country was never a thing.
Well, now it is. We do have an app, the Fit Radio app. It just plays a mix of stuff for usually an hour. So I try to get away from that as much as possible because that's kind of what we play with all the groups. So I know all of these mixes just by heart now. I know what, it's a mix, and it kind of bleeds into the next song. I sing it in my head. I catch myself. I'm like, oh man, let's on to the next mix. Let's listen to something new.
Another one. Is Jose still pitching in the, I think it's like 30 and over leagues?
Yeah, we have a Sunday league. It's the MSBL.
Yeah. You still pitching?
Yeah. I got to stay in shape. I got to lead by example. So right now we just got done with the season, but it's something I look forward to because you got to, you walk the walk, you talk the talk. It gives me a little competitive edge with my athletes. Like, hey, I think I still got you. I might not be able to whiff it right by you, but I think I got you with my curveball. So it gives me something to strive for. That's what I look forward to when it comes to putting myself through the rigors of the programs that I ask my athletes to do.
Yeah. So have you ever had some guy be like, let's go do some live ABs against me or something?
Yeah, I mean, we do that. We're gonna be doing that during winter break. And I'll get in there too. So winter break is, you got all your college and your high school athletes in town, and clients, future clients, old clients, and hey, look, like let's all come together. Let's rent out a park, and you're gonna have to be throwing anyways because as soon as you go back to school for your spring semester, the season starts. You know this, so you got to be in shape. You got to be throwing. The hitters got to be facing lives. So
get that timing down.
So we've been blessed to have enough clientele, enough guys that I can call and rent out that park and wherever it's at, and then just have a community thing. Like I just like to, hey, don't worry about the charge, nothing. Let's just all get better and let's kind of keep building this community. And it's fun because if you don't know, everyone there, you become friends. You become, so it's cool to see stuff like that. People competing against each other that otherwise would never have the opportunity. I got some college guys throwing to high school guys, which is great, And then, like I said, I'll get in there in the mix too. So.
Yeah, awesome. So we're getting close on time, and I kind of want to end with this. What's the biggest thing you want an athlete, once their career's over, to get from Jet? Is it, and not so much as in the athletic way, but also in a mindset to take on to their careers after their sport?
Man, that's a great question because it's so much more than just the training. It's it's the, like I said, the gratitude is something that that's a staple, as a core value. So you really want to be grateful of the position you're in right now. So yes, we may not be where we want to be, but as long as you're moving one step forward, it could be half a step, it could be a full stride. Did you come here today and did you train? Yes. Well, then that is a step forward. You don't need to be, running, taking miles of steps per day. As long as you take that next step forward, you should be grateful that you had the opportunity to get better. So come in feeling grateful for everything.
What's
that's
up,
happening.
brother?
Hey, sorry to jump in here. Piggybacking off that answer, Jose, someone from YouTube who's watching on live stream, they said Jet Fitness is athlete focused, makes sense. What about old guys like me wanting to get back in shape, drop a few pounds, and lower cholesterol? What do you got for that?
Yeah, like I said, we were speaking on our Jet Shred program, which is an adult training program. And it's kind of like an athlete-based or athletic-based program for people our age, for people that are, we've got 40, 50, even 60-year-olds in that program. And again, our training, our coaching staff is knowledgeable enough to if you need modifications to your routine, then we can put you in that program and just kind of kick you some modifications until you get back into the full throttle of things. But yes, our Jet Shred program runs 6 days out of the week. We have morning options, we have evening options after work, and it's perfect for the person you just described, which I would love to give more information to.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's awesome. So we're about at time right now, and the one announcement I do want to make is we're going to extend the competition a little bit. Do the same thing, but you have the rest of the day, and we're going to announce the winners tomorrow. All you got to do is take a picture that you watched the show, tag Southern Arizona Sports Talk or Jet Sporting Training.
Jet Sports Training.
Yeah. And then we're going to announce the winners sometime tomorrow, and I'll make sure you guys get your prizes. Jose, tell them where they can find you. Tell them where Jet's at.
Jet Sports Training. Instagram, we move a lot through Instagram and Facebook. Give us a follow, give us a like, and Coach Felix on Instagram. So one more thing, can I shout out the fall break camp? Fall break camp happening for all athletes. It's a free camp that's going down Wednesday at 9 a.m. at Tucson High. Bring any athlete, bring any teammate or friend of yours. It's free. We'll run you through some speed sessions, and you'll have a great time. You'll get to see what Jet's all about.
Do it, guys. One thing, make sure you guys download our app. And then get ready for next week because we have Anthony Burchek and Brian coming in. Two of the absolute baddest dudes you'll ever meet on the mat and in the ring. Let's catch you guys next week. Peace.